Melissa Lucashenko is a Guri author of Bunjailing and European heritage. Her first novel, Steam Pigs, was published in 1997 and her work has received many awards. Her sixth novel, Too Much Lip, won the 2019 Miles Franklin Literary Award. Melissa is a Walkley Award winner for her non-fiction and a founding member of human rights organization Sisters Inside. Dreamers is a short story by Melissa Lucashenko. The first scene of the story takes place in a small town in Australia in 1969 where an Indigenous woman asks a shopkeeper for an axe. The shopkeeper is reluctant to sell her, but she insists, leading to her frustration. Her persistence in purchasing the axe symbolizes her determination and ongoing struggle for respect and autonomy in society. The story then goes back in time over 30 years. A young Indigenous lady, Jean, who is 20-year-old and looking for a job after arrives at a farm on Crabs Creek Road. She meets a young couple, Ted and May, who is pregnant. Although a bit hesitant at first, she stays with them and helps them in household affairs, particularly assisting Mary due to her pregnancy. Jean's presence in Ted and Mary's house forms a great bond with them as she is very helpful with household and farm chores. After a while, Jean's presence is an integral part of their family because she takes a significant role in caring Eric, the newborn baby. Eric grows up joyfully while Jean takes care of him and forms a strong bond with him. However, Jean is aware of her presence and role there are temporary and has fears being sent away. Everything seems good, and they live happily together. Eric becomes increasingly adventurous and in an attempt to keep track of him, they attach a bell to him. But a tragedy strikes. One day, the family realizes the curious toddler, Eric, has gone missing. They search everywhere but they never find Eric. The sorrow and grief over the toddler's disappearance bring Jean, May, and Ted closer together and creates a deeper bond between them. Years later, with Eric still missing and the sorrow continuing, the government's announcement exacerbates the condition. They plan to build a highway that passes through their area, leading to protests by young activists who camp on their farms. Bulldozers have arrived and are ready to start. The activists' presence escalates the situation, leading to tension which ultimately results in a catastrophic fire, destroying the land and much of the farm. Eerie of silence settles after the fire is put out by the fire truck. The night is at end. Ted, Mary and Jean slump on the porch, filthy and tired. Suddenly the clanging of the bell is heard beyond the river. Then they run through the farm, causing black clouds of ash to rise, and find an enormous tree. The fire has licked its trunk, causing it to shudder and tremble. Jean points up, they see a narrow thread spinning in the breeze, dislodged from its resting place by the force of the fire. It is the belled ribbon, once borne by the missing toddler Eric, wedged tight in the eagle's nest for 30 years. Jean thinks, "Get me an axe." The short story Dreamers by Melissa Lucashenko has the themes of loss and grief, resilience and survival, and identity and belonging. The story deeply demonstrates and deals with theme of loss, primarily disappearance of the toddler whose missing affects the lives and the relationship of the characters. The story also touches the theme of belonging and identity, particularly the experience of Jean as an Indigenous woman living in a white society who struggles for belonging and acceptance. Her presence in May and Ted's household and her friendship with them and her interaction with the hesitant shopkeeper and her persistence and determination in buying an axe highlight the complexity of asserting and finding her identity. Jean represents survival and resilience. Her persistence and determination to get an axe at the beginning of the story symbolize Jean's determination and readiness to take control and independence, and her presence in living in farm even after the toddler's loss resembles her strength and endurance in life's hardships. The axe symbolizes empowerment and self-reliance, reflecting a broader theme of resistance against colonial oppression. The belled ribbon symbolizes the profound grief of loss, echoing the Indigenous families enduring pain during stolen generations when children were separated from their families. The farm and the land symbolize the source of spirituality, identity, and connection to ancestors. Jean's living and connection to the farm emphasize the importance of land for Indigenous peoples. The eagle's nest and the toddler's ribbon bell symbolize the everlasting presence of ancestors.